Hey, what's going on? It's Arfan with Grow Automate Scale, and welcome back to the Successful Lead Generating Coach Show. And I'm here today because I want to talk about the difference between running ads that just get you leads and running ads that actually earn you income, right? Because there's a big difference. And the reason I'm talking about it is because a lot of new coaches, they'll go into running ads to get leads. Established coaches, what you're doing is that you're running ads to get sales. And there's a big difference in how you're doing this. So if you're an established coach and you're doing well organically, you're trying to get into ads, meaning that you're looking to really start generating an income, generating a return on your ad spend to be able to scale back how much you're doing organically, or even to amplify what you're doing organically, tune in, because I'm going to talk about a few different scenarios and some things you can start doing on your ads or even your funnel, so that way you can start generating a return back. Because we're not just putting money in just to get leads. We want to be able to get, income. We want to be able to sell our services, sell our offers, sell our courses, get more people in our membership, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to talk about a few different things that work really well, especially if you're looking to scale, meaning that you're growing already. You're probably already at 25K a month or more, or maybe 15 to 20K a month, and you're looking to start maybe putting in about 2,000, 3,000 in ads to be able to start scaling to 10,000 in ads, because you're getting a return back on that and you're making money on autopilot. You're making money while you sleep. You're getting leads, you're getting qualified leads, and you are feeling better about your time because you can know that you can scale back, you can start doing what you want to do, and still be able to get sales, okay? So let's dive in real quick to a few things. Okay, scenario one, this right here is basically using an automated class, okay? So you have a class that you created, maybe you've hosted it live or you've ran it before on evergreen or it's recorded, but it serves an exact and specific purpose. And what you're doing here is you're exactly just getting people to sign up for that class. Now, I recommend doing this live because you'll typically get higher conversion rate. So you can see here there's a return on ad spend. Ignore some of these ones right here because it's just for the screenshot reasons. Like, this is just an Instagram profile growth. We're just growing the Instagram profile. As you can see, it's about 15 cents per profile visit, which about 20-30% of people become profile followers. And we get a small return. The thing is with that is our goal is not even to get a return. It's just to actually get people to increase our followership of qualified people, not just dead followers who just click subscribe or follow. So, and the reason we tell it's working because we're getting some return on that, because that's what we wanted to do. It's a one click conversion, so it doesn't track anything beyond the 1 day click. So even if people convert on day 2, it won't report over to the ads. So just some things to be aware of when you're looking at Ads Manager, or you're looking like, how are these actually working? There's more nuance than that. So the other one right here is an actual lead generation, a freebie lead magnet. And this is used to help to warm up the account. It generates leads, it gets people in. But we have a micro offer on the thank you page, because one of the goals is that we want to get a return back. We don't want to just go 100% into lead generation and get nothing back. So within the 7 days, about 29% of the ad spend on this has been covered. Now, the one I want to talk about is the very last one right here. And this is the live class approach. The live class approach, basically what this is that you're doing a live class and you're charging a fee for it. Something between $7 to $17 to $27. I don't recommend going much higher than that, because a lot of people are used to free, and often your class competes with free. So when you're competing with free and you're charging too much, you might find that you're getting a lower conversion rate. So between 7 to 27 is a sweet spot for higher converting, because we want to get people to teach them something, yes, but the whole goal beyond that is we're looking to get people where we can sign them up for a higher ticket program. So this live class was $17, and we ended up getting a 2.3x return on ad spend. So what does that mean? Every dollar we put in, we generated $2.30 back, which is pretty strong for converting. But this is one of the approaches that a lot of coaches fail to do, is they fail to even get any slight return back at all. And this, what I'm telling you right now is I want to change the game for you. I want to be able to have you go into this to make it sustainable. Because what becomes unsustainable with ads is that when you're spending a few $1,000s and you get no return back at all. Because what happens is that you have 100% loss. even if you get a return back or you break even, it takes that pressure off because now you're able to cover some of your ad spend. So what ends up happening is that different offers will convert at a different rate. This right here was also another offer that we ran, and it covered 0.83%. And this is more going into the evergreen one to see if there was something that could be done to just get more people coming in. And I recommended a different approach, but my client was like, no, I think I want to do this. Well, nonetheless, it converted about 83% back into ad spend return, which is okay. We'll take it, right? We didn't lose a whole lot, and it was also just a short rant. Now, the live class is absolutely the best way to go. Right now, in between live classes, I help them to create another offer, which is a freebie lead magnet with another micro offer on a thank you page. Originally, it was 29 cents. We optimized that now and running it for purchase, and it's converting 1.28, so it's basically giving a 28% return on ad spend. It just started, so it's very young, and it's closer to about 1.7, 1.9 now. So this is the approach you want to have. You don't want to just run something for free. You want to run something for free that leads to something immediately, whether it's directly a live class or even a freebie that goes into a purchase, right? And I'm going to show you a few different examples here as we go through. But what I really want to communicate across is that if you want to get a return back on your investment, when you're entering into an atmosphere, a location, a place where Facebook and Instagram, where people are used to free, they're used to not paying much, or if they are paying, they're buying something that, like, they're buying underwear or shirts, or they're buying a tool or something like that, and you're selling a digital product, you have to really consider that, hey, if I try to sell something for $1,000, it's going to be a hard conversion. Those things require a lot more trust. Okay, so this is one example here. Next one right here, this right here is when you're hosting a webinar, how to position your webinar to convert higher. So typically, one of the things is that you want to get a good cost per lead on your webinar. And traditionally, what a lot of coaches do is they chase the lowest cost per lead. And what ends up happening is that now, when they're opening up their cart, they're seeing like a 1%, 2%, and a really good, it's like a 3% conversion of the overall list. Maybe the webinar itself converts 10, 15%, but the overall list is a 1 to 3% conversion rate. So this strategy helps to change the game. And what this is that when we ran this, we're able to cover about 30 upwards to 80, and in some cases even over 100% of the return of the ad spend just for a webinar. Think about this. Would you be able to run a live webinar more often if you're able to cover the entirety of the ad spend on that same day? Of course you would. So this is one of the things here where we're able to cover about 50% on repeat depending on the time. And again, in some cases, some events, some times of the year, cover even 100% of it. And what this is, you can see this is an April webinar, and we had a 0.75% covered already, just people signing up for the webinar. This other one here is a 0.45. This is a different thing that was ran, a different offer. Forget about that one, but just focus on the webinar. Some of those go in there because you do want to be able to leverage and test different things. Okay, so depending on the campaign. But once you lock in on what's converting, you continue scaling it. Now, the reason why we are happy about a 0.5% conversion on a live webinar is because we're covering 50% of the ad spend before we even go live on the webinar, before we even give our offer. We're getting people that's already giving us a buy-in. They're already taking their credit card out. They're already saying, yes, I actually want a piece of what you're offering. And what this is the webinar VIP strategy. The webinar VIP strategy takes this from just a live event we're doing to, boom, a premium event that we're doing. Because essentially what happens is that we will typically see a 25-30% conversion rate on our VIP people. So we want to position a nice, well-rounded VIP offer. They sign up for the free webinar saying, hey, join the VIP. You're gonna also get an extra hour of time for Q&A and a specific training. Give them something too as well. They're gonna get the recording of the webinar, of the training, in addition to another resource. So you want to value stack this with at least 3 different things. Something personable, something that they can actually get to take away with, and something that they can keep to expound the value of it. Okay, those 3 things alone right there. And you price this, again, something between $7, $27, $47. In this particular case, it was a $47 offer. These convert really well. The biggest thing is not so much about the price of it. The price is important. The target audience we're advertising to is important. So if you're doing a B2B offer, you can go for a higher price. Business to consumer, typically you want to go for a lower price, maybe $17.27 or something like that, right? So you gotta, sometimes it takes some trial and error, testing some different price points, maybe even split testing 2 or 3 different thank you pages to see which offer converts really well. We're not trying to play anybody. We're just looking to optimize our funnel as best as we possibly can. Okay. So now what happens is you advertise in the live event, they register for free, and you're also getting a sale on the back end to help cover this ad cost right away. So if you're spending even $2,000, $3,000 on ad spend, you're being able to cover 50% of that. What that allows you to do now is actually be able to put more in ad spend or take that pressure off of spending so much, because there's a number of things that can go wrong on a webinar, whether it's a tech issue or sales page not working right. There's so many things that can happen that it gives you a little bit of a safeguard. And the more you optimize this, and if you can get it to convert higher than a 1 ROAS, what happens now is you have what's called free lead generation, because essentially you covered all of it right off the bat. And anything that you get for conversion is all pure 100% profits. Okay, so that's one of the second strategies. The next one we have right here, this is a complete evergreen offer. Now this has been heavily optimized. We've been running this exact same funnel for going on, this is the 3rd year now. So we see we're generating a pretty strong return on ad spend for a digital offer that's 100% profits. And when I say heavily optimized, I mean heavily optimized. Dozens of different ad videos, ad images. We split tested the offer on the thank you page, to order bumps, to upsells, everything. We've done over close to a dozen thank you page tests, and we've done over close to a dozen different order bump and upsell tests, right? So it's heavily optimized. So that's why you're seeing a 3 to 5x return on ad spend. And this is just cranking out continuously all the time. In addition to that, we've also moved into worldwide, outside just US targeting, outside just Canada targeting, have gone into the UK, Australia, New Zealand, so it's worldwide. And what this is the free workshop to a self-liquidating funnel. So again, we're not trying to charge something up front, but we're optimizing these for purchases, not leads. So that's important. But the way this is structured is that the offer on the thank you page is relevant to the workshop. They don't need it for the workshop, but they need it if they want to take their business or their whatever they're doing personally to the next level. This is a business-to-business offer, so it's structured really well, so that way when they come in, what they sign up for the workshop, they're going to get, and it's going to be helpful. In addition to that, what they're also purchasing is at a price point that's a no-brainer. It's a $37 offer, and I mentioned a few different times of these price points, so you can see I'm naming the price points so you guys can get some ideas. You don't have to follow that. You have to use your insights, use your knowledge of your target audience, what's going to be the best to go with, and you also have to test it. We tested this offer at 67, 47, 27. 37 just happens to be the best conversion profitable. It's better than 27, to be honest with you. So what ends up happening here is that you start getting more and more conversions. You see Facebook gives you the up and down arrow. Sometimes you got to ignore that because what they're telling you may not be the reality of what's going on the back end. And sometimes they'll put that on there. It's like a scare tactic almost, or a money trap. Okay, so the way this works now is that they sign up for a free workshop. A short workshop, 15 to 20 minutes, something that they're going to get tangible to be able to take away and apply right now to their life. They can get results. What goes on next is that they get an offer. And this offer has to be structured a few different ways. 1, you have the main offer. 2, you have an order bump. So it's a $37 offer with an order bump for $27. You have to test the price points. You have to test the order bump. You got to test the copy you're using. There's no way around that. You'd be a unicorn if you put up something once where it's just there's one offer, there's one order bump, there's one upsell, there's one downsell, and everything is converting like crazy. Rarely happens. With something that takes testing, it takes optimizing, it takes changing the offer, and it takes changing the videos and whatnot of how you're promoting this offer. Okay, so if you want more insights on this, you want to be able to work one-on-one to be able to develop this strategy in your business, you can schedule a call with me, and we'll be able to host a free ad scaling call. with you and your team, and we will talk about how we can implement these in your ad account. So if you're running ads right now, you're spending 3 to 4 or 5K a month, but you're not seeing a return on your ad spend immediately within the first day, within the first 7 days, and you want to change that, schedule a call with me. Go to arfan.com/start, and there'll be a link below here somewhere. And what you want to do is just schedule that call. We'll be able to chat more about this. I'll be able to look at your specific situation and be able to also help you to talk about what you need to implement or change. And also, if we're able to work together to do it, that'll be awesome. If not, if you and your team can handle it, that's all great too as well. But I want to make sure you have a strategy so you can be able to get a return. Okay? So let's talk about this again. So free lead magnet, right, that they sign up for, they get to the thank you page. It's an offer, a good offer, $27, $37, $47. You go to $67 if you want. You got to test this. It has to have an order bump. You also need to have at least one upsell and one downsell. My recommendation, and this particular offer right here, we have the initial offer, the order bump. We have upsell 1, downsell 1, upsell 2, downsell 2. So we have a tiered stack that they're doing, and everything complements each other. If they get the first offer, the second offer is going to even add more to what they have, and it's going to give them a bigger arsenal. It's kind of like if you have a hobby, often when you get one thing, it's like, boom, I actually also need this other thing. So it starts to compound, and before you know it, you don't just have fishing rod and reels, but then you have a fishing bag, and you're getting a kayak, and all these other stuff. It adds up. Or if you saltwater, you're getting a boat to go just to fish, right? So it adds up. You can think about like the lower ticket product. It may just be the tackle box, right? But then it has now it's like you got to get a nice rod to go with it, and the higher ticket is like a boat, like that's super high ticket. So it typically goes in that stage where it starts off small and you increase as you go. So it starts off with a $37 offer, it goes to an upsell for $97 offer, and the second upsell is $197. So it goes up in value, and the offer also goes up in value. Like it's a really juicy, hot offer. It really is. Okay. So enough about that, because it does take some time to work at it, take some time to flesh that out. Like I said, we've been running this for over 2 years now. This is the third year we're running this, and it's been heavily optimized, which is what you want. When we started this, it was not converting at a 5x return on ad spend. It was more like a 0.5, then eventually became a 1, a 1.5. Within the first 2 months, it became a 1.5. It was sustainable. It was feeding itself. And then we started optimizing that for it to convert better. Okay. The last one I want to talk about is also an evergreen one. And this is the evergreen webinar, evergreen masterclass into a low ticket course. And we're going straight into the course. But the key difference here is that you're focusing on, again, purchase conversions. So there's a reason why we spent $29K and have generated $150K in revenue on here. This is a high converting evergreen webinar. And the key things about this is that, let me move this here. We don't just focus on cost per lead, right? We focus on the ads that's bringing in the highest quality leads, okay? And the way this works is that your webinar needs to be priced about $197 to $297, and you also need to give them an order bump and an upsell. That way your average order value can increase as they order. We don't want people just to buy the $197. We want them to order bump into that $47 offer. We want them to upsell into the $97 offer. So that way now our value, on average, we're getting a $297 to maybe $497 or $597 sale. Okay? You want to increase it that way. Everything has to make sense and complementary and be of great value to your ideal client. The way this works is that 90% of sales will happen as they watch the webinar. And the reason why that is because you give them a fast action bonus. And that bonus is, the best way to do it is, and there's no other way around this, is that you need to have a price offer. So that way, basically, they watch the webinar, they watch the masterclass, and what you're offering them is normally $497, $397, or $500. And you're discounting it so heavily that, hey, if you purchase now, within the next hour of watching this, you're going to get it for $297. You're going to get $200 off, right? that is the approach to do with it. And you want to set this up in a way where you're being honest with that. So now as they follow up, if they go to the replay, you could introduce that offer again on the replay, yes. But the email sequence are going to now give them the offer for the higher price point. You will get some sales. Like I said, 90% happens in the fast action bonus. There's about 10% that does also happen where they're paying the full price. And honestly, that's on them, right? So they do have to take advantage of the fast action bonus. We're structuring this in a way where you can get a strong return on your ad spend and be able to not just run an offer that's generating a few $100, right? But basically to be able to also generate almost a full-time salary just on this offer alone. So all in all, these are a few different strategies to use to get your ad account to the point where, or get your business to the point where you're not 100% relying just on what you're able to do organically, but you're also relying on your advertising being a system, being a machine that's consistently giving you sales, consistently bringing in high quality leads, and you're getting a return on your ad spend, whether it's within the 1 day to 7 days, you're breaking even, covering 50% or 30, 40, 50, 60% of your ad spend. And within the 30 days, you're making a profit. So that way, whatever you're using to fund your ad spend, you're able to pay that off and you're able to generate a revenue, pay your team, everything, and have peace of mind and have a bit of freedom too as well. I'll be honest, it does take optimizing, it does take testing. It's not something that I can promise that you just set it up and boom, it works. That's why you need to have a strong team, a strong support system to be able to constantly look and see what needs to be optimized. What are the bottlenecks? What's working well? Where's the fall off happening? Because the better you can tweak those specific areas. So for example, if you're getting good lead generation, but then you're seeing that the offer on the thank you page is not converting, it's converting instead of a 10% conversion rate, it's converting at 2 or 3%. Well, that's your fall off. You have to optimize that. We want to get that at 10%. And as soon as we make some adjustments, going up in the right trend, then you focus on the next piece. Well, okay, great. We have that up now. Let's look at the order bump. The order bump is not converting between 20 to 40%. Tweak and optimize. So boom, things are starting to work as they should. Then you focus on the upsell. Same thing with the webinar. If you get people signing up, but they're starting to watch, in 5 minutes they drop off, well, boom. You have to re-record. You can't just think that, hey, it's going to miraculously work one day. And that's what a lot of coaches make, especially those who are new. They don't realize that a lot of the results you get from your ads happens to be with how you optimize the back end, because that optimization is going to optimize the traffic flow. You have leads coming in. If you have a store in real life and you have a mall location or a strip mall location, you have a store and people are walking in and they're not buying, you don't have a traffic issue, you have an offer issue. The stuff you have in your store, no one's buying. You have to look about, okay, well, how do I change what I have, tweak what I have, adjust what I have, so that way all the foot traffic that I'm getting is converting. There's a reason why locations charge more if there's a lot of foot traffic, right? And it's because you have the foot traffic, you have the people. What happens now is you have to make sure your offer is converting for those people. Okay, and that's what me and my team do. We help you to leverage ads to be able to generate the right traffic and also help you to optimize that back end, so you're not stuck, you're not trying to figure it and fight it alone, but you have insights as far as where do you need to put your attention and your focus on, so that way you can actually have the machine working and working at a great level for you. Okay, so again, if you found this helpful, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and also if you need support, let's schedule a call, let's talk. Let's schedule a call at arfanunderstand.com/start. It's a free Scale with Ads call, and it's complimentary, like no charge for it too as well. There's no pressure, no hard pitch or anything like that. If it's an opportunity for us to work together, I'll present that. If not, then it's totally fine. I just want to make sure you have the insights you need to be able to get results in your ads, so that way you're not wasting another dime on ad spend that goes into the abyss, so to say. Okay? So again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and share this with someone that might be helpful. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.